Welcome to my thoughts on the Fender Vintera II 70s Competition Mustang bass. I purchased this bass with my own money, and after 30 hours of practice and 3 hours of performing live, these are my unpaid thoughts on it. The Fender Vintera II 70s Competition Mustang bass retails for an MSRP of $1,179 US. This bass has the classic Competition Mustang body made out of alder with its comfort contours and through body string design. It has a maple neck with a 30-inch scale length and a 7 1/4-inch fingerboard radius. It has vintage tall frets, an early 70s C profile, and a synthetic bone nut. It comes equipped with a split single coil Mustang pickup with vintage 70s voicing. I'll start with my personal preferences. The short scale length helps with my wrist pain and allows me to play for longer periods at a time. I preferred the feel of this neck up and down the fretboard to the more modern C profile and wider fingerboard radius of the Player PJ and American Performer versions of the Mustang. The simplicity of the controls and passive electronics were a big selling point for me because I hate fighting knobs for a great tone, but they may be a strong reason not to buy for others as you lose a lot of potential options. The 70s voiced pickup gives a deep, thumping sound that leaves hints of double bass, and the short scale length brings that thump up to the higher registers. I've spent most of my time on it playing country tunes, and it really fits the vibe. This Vintera II Mustang bass is built with vintage accurate materials and feels exceptionally well built and finished for the price. I'm a big fan of the vintage accurate look, and I've always had good QC experiences with made in Mexico Fenders. As far as playability goes, it holds tune very well, has great fretwork, and has decent upper fret access considering the vintage accurate build. I would love to test this bass against an original 70s Competition Mustang to see the differences in person. As far as negatives go, I have 3 personal preferences. The price could be lower, as at just a level below the American-made Performer series, this will factor into many people's purchase decisions. I prefer it with flat wounds, so I had to put a pair of those on, and I strongly recommend trying them, but this does add roughly $60 Canadian to the purchase price. The lack of a pickup I can rest my thumb on was a problem at first, but has worked to make me mute the open E string with my resting thumb more often, while the size of the body and the forearm contour make it very comfortable to play with a floating hand technique. The balance, while better than many short scales, still has a small issue, though my strap fixed most of that. The heavy tuning keys probably add to this problem a bit. As far as playability goes, my main issue was that the vintage style bolt-on neck joint limited the guitar to only decent upper fret access, and it needed some intonation work from the store. This bass comes in 2 colors, Competition Orange and Competition Burgundy, but the burgundy is more of a burgundy burst, and the orange is just a solid color. I'm not sure what they were thinking calling that color burgundy, but apparently there is burgundy on there, just sprayed over with blue to give it that purple hue. It has a front-placed input jack installed along with the controls, and is the only current production Fender Mustang without a 60s slab body. The through body string design and short scale length call for certain strings. I use medium scale, but there are strings made specifically for this. There are several reasons I picked this bass over the other Mustangs or over another short scale bass. First of all, it has my favorite feature set out of the Fender Mustang bass lineup: the body contours, the comfortable vintage neck, and my favorite pickup out of the line, though a close second was the Squier Classic Vibe. I found this bass to be at a better price point and preferred the sound to the available Gibson and Music Man options. I decided to buy new versus used due to past experiences with used gear and sellers, and I have not regretted it as of yet. A couple noted basses I looked at in different price ranges besides this one: the Squier Classic Vibe Mustang and the Gibson SG Standard bass. In spite of there being negatives and several reasons one may choose another short scale bass, including the lack of a second pickup position, the sound of the only pickup not being to one's preference, and the vintage features such as the neck joint being too much of a downside versus the modern comforts available on some other basses, I picked this bass because I resonated the most with it. When I hit the first note, the whole length of the neck resonated. The thumpy Motown sound was perfect for my preference, and the vintage look and features brought me in by making me feel comfortable with playing it as soon as I picked it up. Changing the flat wounds was easy, but full disclosure, it was my first bass string change and I used full scale strings, so I got it redone at a local music store as I had a gig coming up and I created some buzz and more intonation problems with my string change. After 30 plus hours of practice and performing with the bass, I can confidently say it feels and sounds as good for my personal style as I initially thought, until I get the itch for a new one, of course. If you enjoyed this review, please like, comment, and subscribe. More bass content to follow here on my channel. Peace!